everyone, Tony Vlahos here, Chief Marketing Officer of Execunet, and I have the pleasure of speaking today with Hunter Lovins. And of course, she is President of Natural Capitalism Solutions. Among other things, she's also the author of the international bestseller, Natural Capitalism. It's a pleasure to be talking to you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
So I just have a few questions for you. And the first is, if you could tell me, Hunter, from any time in your life, what tough choices have you made that now guide or influence how you make tough new decisions?
Oh, God. What choice is not tough? If anything's at stake, it's a tough choice.
Absolutely.
Do you let someone go in your company? Do you hire someone? Mm-hmm. Do you get into a new line of business? Do you end a partnership? These are all tough choices.
They're all tough.
You know, in the last year, I've been working with a guy, and I thought we had a really close partnership, and about a month ago we ended it. And so then the question was, what? Do I lay down and cry? So I called a colleague in Australia. It's a choice. I called a colleague in Australia and said, hey, you want a partner? He said, yes. So we today launched the Edge economy. Right. With any luck, there'll be a piece out in The Guardian in about a week on it, and so we've got a whole new team built, and here we go.
What are the 1, 2, or 3 toughest challenges that organizational leaders need to overcome to take us into the future?
Courage, the recognition that what we do in the next 10 years is more important than what we do for the next 10,000 years. This from Sylvia Earle, the great oceanographer.
Beautifully said.
We are up against it on climate change. We are up against it on loss of species. We're losing major ecosystems around the planet. And we have all the technologies we need to solve all these problems. We can stop climate change at we can avoid the worst of the disasters that are coming at us from climate change and do so at a profit. When I started this work, we could have stopped it, but a lot of bad stuff is now inevitable. And we need to prepare for that. As the presidential science advisor, Dr. John Holdren, says, we will mitigate, adapt, and suffer. The relative proportions depend on how good we are at the first two.
Right.
But there's a tremendous amount that every company can do. Unilever just announced they're going 100% renewably powered by 2020.
Wow.
IKEA has announced the same thing. Walmart. Trust me, Walmart's not doing it out of the goodness of their hearts.
Right.
These are business decisions. And so the first thing that an executive ought to do is look at what science is telling us is necessary. As Mr. Churchill said, sometimes one must do what is necessary.
Sure.
What is necessary is dramatic increases in resource productivity, particularly around energy. Water is coming at us. Goldman says water is the petroleum of the next decade. Then transforming how we make and deliver everything so that we're doing it in ways that are sustainable. Then managing our institutions to be restorative of human and natural capital, the two forms of capital that almost no corporate executive counts, but which underpin all of prosperity.
Right.
So just pick your head up, look around you, recognize what's necessary, and get at it.
So, are there 1 or 2 big lessons, if you could limit it to 1 or 2, that you've learned that might help other leaders as they face similar challenges or pursue similar opportunities?
Doing the right thing is always the best business. You know in your heart what the right thing is, so do it. And the business will prosper because you did that. Corporate courage is always the right way to go. Trust your people. Your people underpin everything in your business. Leadership is lonely. It's the truism. And if you begin to share it and crowdsource your answers and realize that no one of us is as smart as all of us, it gets a lot less lonely.
Sure.
And a lot more fun and a lot more innovative. So, for example, on this Edge economy, what's the strategy of change forward? I'm going to crowdsource it at SOCAP this fall. Just ask the 2,000-odd participants, how do we implement this?
So a curious leader could really be a healthy leader as well.
Curiosity is incredibly important.
Great. So
Tell the truth.
Great.
You know, we know what's going on today. Tell the truth. And tell it to your people. And ask them to help be part of the solution. They will love you for it.
Why are we afraid of it, though? And why is candor something that a lot of people at the high level have not really embraced as part of their business plan?
Leaders are supposed to have the answers. They are supposed to know the way forward and have lined it all out. And to say, I don't know, feels incredibly scary.
Yeah.
I've now decided this is the hallmark of a great corporate leader, when they set a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, and immediately say, and I have no idea how to do it. And we're going to find out.
Sure.
And they're honest about that. How exciting is that?
What a concept. So lastly, for everyone who's watching our video today, Hunter, and they are CEOs and their teams, is there one thing they should know about the future of their work that you'd like them to know?
It is the only thing that matters. Again, what you do in the next 10 years will determine the fate of humanity. And it is up to you. Government's not going to solve it. The people themselves are not going to solve it. Business leaders and business is the only institution on the planet now big enough, well enough managed, resourceful enough to tackle the really gnarly challenges facing us. And when business leaders step up and take on this responsibility, they prosper. Business leaders say, that's policy, that governments should tell us what to do. Our business is business. We're just in it to make money for our shareholders. And when you have a leader like Sir Mark Moody Stewart, who was then the head of Royal Dutch Shell, who said, we have to transform our business to be a more sustainable business. Shell became the biggest company on earth. He was a true leader. Paul Pullman at Unilever. No, I'm not going to report quarterly. It's the wrong way to manage my company. And Unilever is prospering. So, have courage, do the right thing.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time and your insight.
Wow.